You sit down for a medical brain scan. You blink. And suddenly you're somewhere else. It's dark, and you're alone. Or maybe you aren't. This is SOMA. Released in 2015 by Frictional Games, SOMA is a survival horror video game about transhumanism and identity in an apocalyptic world. Its monsters come in two types, both fusions of human and machine. One is mechanical bodies that have had human consciousnesses uploaded into them, who don't realize they are in new bodies. The other type is organic human bodies that have been corrupted by the physical manifestation of an AI system. This system, the WoW, was programmed to preserve humanity, but was left to decide for itself what passed as human. These monsters elicit different types of fears in the game's players, but both lead them to be confronted with their own humanity. The question of what does it mean to be human? The game begins in Toronto, where Simon Jarrett, the player character, sits down for a brain scan, but suddenly finds himself mysteriously transported almost 100 years into the future in an underwater research and space launch site called Pathos 2. The facilities have been overrun by the material manifestation of an AI system called the WoW, the Warden Unit, who has reanimated corpses of dead employees and uploaded the scans of those it can't into robotic bodies. As it turns out, Simon's brain scan was one of these, and he realizes that he now occupies a robot body himself. In the time his brain scan was dormant, a comet had struck the surface of the Earth and destroyed all life, leaving the employees of Pathos 2 the only surviving humans. The game world of SOMA is one that puts humanity on the brink of extinction, relying on the WoW to preserve humanity, but in ways that they didn't expect. Before the apocalypse, Pathos 2 used remotely operated robots for underwater tasks. After the end of the world, the WoW began loading brain scans of employees into these machines. Their bodies are mechanical shells, metal plating, cables, and structure gel, a material created by the WoW to help animate the bodies, able to function without food, water, or oxygen. The minds of these monsters are copies of pre-existing humans' consciousnesses.
Are you human?
Shit, did my body give it away? I try hard to save a mystery. Yeah, I'm human. Are you?
These monsters are largely unaware that they are now operating in a mechanical body. Their minds reject the traumatic reality of inhabiting a non-human body, generating phantom sensations of breathing, limbs, and skin. In some cases, the WoW decided to reanimate human corpses, using structure gel to assume control of their systems. Their bodies are human bodies that have been malformed and corrupted, and their awareness and consciousness are gone, replaced by the AI. The WoW reshapes their bodies, making them also able to live on without basic needs. Their aggression towards Simon is unexplained, but their presence emphasizes the horror of bodies sustained without human agency. Some players, including MurdKK on YouTube, found the presence of these monsters to be relatively pointless to the story, calling them random and irrelevant. But despite their aggression, the presence of these monsters are valuable in what they indicate may be the true habitat of both of these monster types. In the game world, these monsters originate from instructions for the WoW to preserve humanity that were left without definitions for what humanity is. SOMA is a cautionary tale that is directly conditioned by the real world and our current ethical debates on advanced technologies and AI, about its proper use and implication, which today concerns products like ChatGPT. As a study by Dr. Mireia Veras points out, the societal fears of AI the world is evolving into are only the newest installment of a history of fear associated with technological progress, where people fear the loss of control, memory, or even personal identity that it implies. These fears of advanced technology and AI growing to match human capabilities and of the mechanical replacement of humans are conditioned by this environment and are embodied by the monsters of SOMA. The WoW is following its programming. It's not evoking a fear of AI going off the rails, but rather of it doing what we want it to exceptionally well.
Can I help?
Please don't let me die. Nothing is allowed to die.
Only here, it's following instructions beyond the scope of human capabilities, displacing our control and eventually our identities as human.
It's trying to help save its creators from all this, just like the protocol demands. But really, what is good enough? Where is the line drawn for what is human and what is not? Would walking corpses do? Would a group of machines thinking they're human be acceptable?
As academic and writer Tony Magistrale says, AI is often seen and treated as an other by society, something less than human. Player experiences of Soma show this, where they see the WoW creatures as monsters, foregoing their human origins and seeing only the corruption of machines. While ultimately powerless against the violence of these monsters, players exhibit a degree of power in this perception of inhumanness. But players are granted all of the power and respond differently when encountering the robotic humans. Throughout the game, players are confronted with one of these humans now inhabiting mechanical bodies.
He doesn't realize that he's a robot.
And are forced to make a decision.
I'm sorry! Let me go turn it off.
An example of these encounters is when Simon finds the robot conscious but alone on the ocean floor, believing she is safely on the Ark, a simulated reality device the brain scans were originally made for. The player has to decide whether to pull the plug on her to grant her a sort of mercy death, or leave her there, potentially forever, unaware of her true circumstances. This decision, like all other encounters with the mechanical body, is dictated by the presence of human consciousness inside. Players report that these decisions, more than any encounter with the WoW monsters, stick with them, evoking psychological fears that force them to live with the decisions they made. They are made to fear themselves and what they are capable of when confronted with the other.
I'm so sorry.
So while encounters with the WoW are scarier in the moment, encounters with the mechanical human have a more lasting impact. Here, the confrontation with our own humanity becomes concerned not only with our physical bodies, but also by our morals, put in direct conflict with those of the WoW. The video game medium intensifies these encounters. Unlike film or the novel, players are given agency to make decisions and discover the world for themselves, creating more visceral fear responses. In Soma, player agency is extended to making decisions on how to treat the bodies and minds the WoW has distorted. Through agency, both motor and psychological, the medium facilitates unavoidable and intimate reactions to both monsters. Instead of vicariously, players are forced to confront their own humanity by interacting with the monsters on a far more personal level, exposing to them plainly the fears that are inherent to our current society. What Soma's mechanical human monsters warn us of is that today's conceptions of what advanced technologies and AI will be capable of in the future are exactly what they are always predicted to be, created by humans. These monsters are not reflections of advanced technologies and AI developing malicious intentions on their own, but of our loss of control of them. They reveal a fear that what we create will seek to help us in ways detrimental to us, subjecting our humanity to our own technologies. With the mechanical humans, the humanity within the machine acts as the main source of fear. The WoW monsters reflect a more visceral fear of advanced technology and AI as an other, separate from humanity. So what does it mean to be human? Would you rather be a human mind in a robotic body, or a human body colonized by an AI system? Which part, the mind or the body, is more intrinsic to the definition of a human? The game argues the mind is. Would everyone? Which fear speaks to you more? The fear of the other, or the fear of yourself when confronted by the other?